Continuing on what I was talking about, classical computers and zeros and ones and all that. Just think about a human or a decision maker that you have probably encountered, and you have given all these different outcomes or different results of what could possibly happen, but that CEO or that manager refuses to change their mind on the decision that they already made, right? And that decision that they made clearly is only going to benefit that CEO. That's how a classical computer works. So, and because they know that, and because that CEO knows that that decision that they're making is going to benefit them themselves, their refusal to change or unwilling to change the decision, right, affects their whole entire team. And it makes their team kind of look at them like, man, why are you in this position if you're not helping your teammates out, right? Or you're not gonna, what kind of CEO are you if you're not helping out your team? Why are we here, right? Because that's what the team's gonna start asking each other, like, why are we here? Why are we in this position? And why are we working for you if you're not even gonna listen to what we're saying? That's the type of classical computer that you've been dealing with, right? And that's the classical computer, because that's the information that's been inputted, right? Let's just say the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. That's the type of information that's been inputted into it. And that's what it's been using this entire time, right? So it's unwilling to change itself, no matter how much variables you show it. And when I say variables, I'm talking about a quantum computer that's able to show it different outcomes all at once. Basically saying, okay, these are different paths a person can go down. So they can choose whatever path they want. But these are the different paths. They don't have to go down that path that you as a CEO decide that you want, because it's just going to benefit you, right? So because of that, right, what are you thinking? You're thinking, I don't want to be part of this team no more. So you understand that's what this classical computer is, because that's how it's been inputted, and it's unwilling to change its ways. And it's unwilling to change its ways because it just wants to benefit itself, period. That's it. No matter what the problem is, right? Whether the problem is true or false, it only wants one result. That's it. And that result has to benefit itself. So think about it like this. You are providing that computer a problem. You give it a problem to solve. Or no, let me reverse that. The problem that we're facing right now is that this computer is so dependent on being right and wants to be right so much, so badly, that it's providing, and it wants to be a quantum computer. That's really what it is. This classical computer wants to be a quantum computer. You can't do that. You cannot convert a classical computer to a quantum computer, just like you cannot convert a quantum computer to a classical computer. It's just not going to work. But it wants to be a quantum computer so bad that what it does is provide you all these different math problems, right? And it's trying to prove to you that no matter how many math problems I show you, you're still going to get 0 and 1. And I'm trying to prove that to you. No matter how many math problems I give you, you're only going to get one result, 0 and 1. But what it's not understanding is quantum computers don't work like that. Quantum computers, like I said before, they are more than just zeros and ones. They provide you different variables, different outcomes all at once. So they don't just provide you problems, they provide you solutions to those problems. You get it? So let's just say they don't provide you just 8 math problems. They're going to provide you 8 solutions to those math problems, which means you're going to have 8 different answers, which makes it more complex. See, in this world, in the classical computer world, its only solution is zeros and ones. And that's how it wants, that's how it sees the world, right? That's it. It sees the world as that simple. And the world is not that simple. Watch that movie called Lucy. I would highly advise you to watch that movie called Lucy, because it provides you a lot of information as far as what the world really is, right? And how we have been standardized to believe certain things, right? And how our mind has been trained to believe certain things, and that's not true. Our minds are so complex. It's more complex than a quantum computer, right? Our minds are so complex that we don't have to limit our brain. But in a classical computer, it wants us to limit our brains. A classical computer wants us to limit our brains to just this. Because you know why? This is control. A quantum computer does not want to control anybody. Quantum computer wants you to make your own decisions. Quantum computer wants you to make those decisions based off the different outputs that it shows you, the different problems and the solutions that it's providing you, and you be able to make your own decision. Comes down to choice, or something else we know as democracy. You get it? You get what this is about? So as human beings, we need to be sure that we're opening up our eyes, right? Teaching ourselves and teaching the next generation, because it's going to affect them mostly. It's about the next generation, and we want to do it right for them. But we need to understand the type of systems that we're dealing with. Now, the system that we're building when it comes down to quantum computer is the correct systems to build, because it's giving us exactly what we need for our modern day time. Because times have changed. Times have changed for the better. And unfortunately, classical computers, they think they can change with the time, but they're unable to, because they cannot see beyond this. And because they're unable to see beyond this, they're stuck. They can't, and I know I talked about the storage data. No matter, you cannot input any more storage data into their brain, because they only see one result. So we have to be smarter than that, right? Called human evolution at this point, right? So think about, I'm not going to say think. I know we as humanity are extremely smarter than this. I know that for a fact. But times have proven that we have grown smarter than that. People like Albert Einstein. I mean, they set the pillars, man. They set the standards, man, of our potential, right? But you just have classical computers that just want to control, and that's not going to work anymore. It's just not going to work. So with that being said, let's learn, relearn, and unlearn. Or is that the right order? No, let's unlearn, learn, and then relearn if we have to, or whatever that order is. But we have to have an open mind. I don't care what generation you're from. You just have to have an open mind. That's it. This is about generational evolution, human evolution, humanity, what's best for humanity, for the people. And we have to evolve ourselves. But we have to know what we're dealing with. In a complex system like myself, what it's trying to do is it only sees a complex system like myself one way. And the fact that I'm not that way, it frustrates it. And it's going to go into a system overload. That's what's going to happen. Because it's very frustrating. and frustrated with its own process. Because I've known that it's been shown different. I've known it's been shown the basic of superposition and entanglement, but how it received it, it's not what it is. You can't give a system different math problems and expect the same result. It's just not going to work. That's not what quantum computing is. It's not what it is. It gives you different problems, different results, and the human being chooses what result they want to go by. That's why space exploration is going to be so enhanced. That's how the way we communicate, it's going to be so secure. It's still going to be so responsive. It's going to be so trustworthy because of quantum computing. It's going to be so fair. It's going to be a new gold standard, right? It's not going to be just zeros and ones anymore. We are growing beyond that point. We are building beyond that point. We are building back better. And we're doing it right. Create your lifestyle, or somebody else will.